Execution integrity is rare. Not because people don't have goals, not because they lack ambition, but because they break agreements with themselves. Execution integrity is simple. It's doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it. Integrity isn't about morality here. It's about alignment. Alignment between what you said you're going to do and what you actually do. Execution integrity means your actions consistently honor your commitments, not occasionally when it's convenient, consistently. When execution integrity is high, your behavior reflects your standard. When it's low, your behavior negotiates with it. Execution integrity creates internal credibility. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce trust with yourself. Every time you break one, that trust erodes. And self-trust isn't philosophical. It's structural. It's built through repeated evidence. Execution integrity doesn't mean perfection. It means consistency of alignment. You may adjust a commitment, but you don't silently abandon it. This is where most drift actually begins. Not with failure, but with small broken agreements. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you weaken internal credibility. Self-trust is built through kept promises. When execution integrity is low, motivation feels unreliable. Discipline feels temporary. Confidence feels unstable. Because you don't trust yourself to follow through. When internal credibility drops, your standards stop feeling real. They start feeling optional. And once your standards start feeling optional, your behavior starts negotiating with them. Execution integrity isn't just about getting things done. It's about protecting a relationship you have with your own word. When you repeatedly break agreements with yourself, something subtle happens. You stop believing your own commitments. And once you stop believing your own commitments, goals stop feeling serious. They start feeling like intentions, then ideas, then wishes. That's the hidden cost of low execution integrity. Your standards remain the same in theory, but they lose authority in practice. Eventually, you stop asking, did I do what I said I would do? And start asking, do I feel like doing it today? In the moment, behavior becomes emotional instead of structural. Drift becomes inevitable. Execution integrity follows a simple structure. Commitment leads to action. Action leads to completion. Completion leads to credibility. Everything starts with a commitment, a clear agreement you make with yourself. Once the commitment is made, action begins. But the most important step isn't action. It's completion. Completion is what turns effort into evidence. When you complete what you committed to, something happens internally. You build credibility with yourself. You begin to trust your own word. But when completion is skipped, credibility drops. You may still have good intentions. You may still be working. But the evidence that your standards are real begin to disappear. And without that evidence, execution integrity starts to weaken. Commitment creates direction. Action creates movement. Completion creates credibility. And credibility is what makes your standards believable, even to yourself. High performers are imperfect. They're consistent. They don't negotiate with their commitments. Execution integrity eliminates negotiation. When commitments stop being negotiable, standards stop drifting. If your execution integrity is low, shrink your commitments. Don't promise more, promise less, but keep it. Execution integrity isn't restored through ambition. It's restored through consistency. When commitments are too large, completion becomes uncertain. And when completion becomes uncertain, credibility begins to weaken. So the correction isn't intensity, it's precision. Make smaller commitments, clear ones, specific ones, commitments you can actually keep. You don't rebuild execution integrity by demanding more from yourself. You rebuild it by proving repeatedly that your word is reliable. Execution integrity protects your original standard. If you can trust yourself, nothing else matters. But execution integrity requires something most people ignore: energy. You can have clear standards. You can have strong intentions. You can even have high execution integrity. But without energy, none of it is sustainable. That's where we go next.